What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode here at Travel. So today I've been requested to do this video a few times and I just haven't had the time to knock it out. So I figure as I clean it, I show you guys what I carry as I go off-roading, and this is going to show you a quick basic breakdown. I'll also show you the advanced stuff that I carry. So like when I get that phone call, hey, somebody's stuck in Lido Creek, somebody's stuck in Cleghorn, I have the necessary tools to go and do it. So stick around. I'll break down the basic one first and then we'll dive into the more advanced stuff. See you soon. All right, so first things first, we're going to break down the very basic things you should carry no matter what you're doing. Fire roads, hard trails, these are the essentials. One of the most important things to carry is an air compressor. So if you guys don't have an air compressor, I still go out with guys now that don't carry an air compressor. This is a very basic air compressor, and honestly I've been using it for about 2 years now and it hasn't broke, so I haven't replaced it. But you could get something even fancier than this. You can go and get ARB dual compressor that's a lot faster. I've been airing up all my 37 and 38 tires, and yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but since I'm recording, I don't really mind it too much. And then I also partnered it up with these hoses. These are from Earthcrawler. Daniel Magneto, if you guys don't know him, you guys can ask me, drop a comment and I'll give you his information. But I've been using his hose kit for about, I don't know, maybe a year and a half now, and it hasn't failed me. It's done really well, and what it does is it compresses air into all 4 tires, and then it also lets them settle so that way that they're all even once you're finished airing up. So this setup right here, it's not the prettiest, but it works really well, and it's probably better than your very basic like one tire at a time airing up system. This is absolutely one of the major things you should carry because it helps your tires, it helps you get in and out of trails without getting stuck. So airing up is definitely one of the most important things that you can do. So the next thing you should carry after you get the air compressor all settled is recovery gear. This will help you get out of situations, whether you start off getting a winch. The winch is probably one of the most important things you can grab, even before ropes or anything like that. So this particular winch is a SX12 from Super Winch. It's a synthetic rope. You could either go cable or synthetics, and you can also replace the rope whenever it starts wearing out. This is one of the things that you can get right off the rip, and it'll help you and help everybody else around you get in and out of situations before even possibly hooking up a rope or anything like that. So if you decide not to get a winch right off the rip, you can grab some recovery gear. So I'll go through a few straps that I carry. And again, this setup that I have here, it's more of an advanced setup because I carry a tree hugger, I carry some smaller straps and some kinetic rope. And it's usually because I do go out and rescue people. So depending on the situation, you'll use a different type of strap. So I'll break them down. The first one is this tree saver. So these are called tree savers because they go around a tree. They're usually shorter. But also one thing to point out is when you start seeing your rope getting pinched out or cut up like this, you should probably replace it. So this is something that I'm looking into now. Now that I'm cleaning my truck, I'm noticing some of the things that need to be replaced. So upkeep is very important on your ropes. So the tree saver strap is usually one of the shorter ones. We'll get that one out of the way. The next one that I have, these are nice and skinny, and what we use these is like if you need to pull something small and you need to get the rope up and in there, this has worked really well. We used it when we rescued the Subaru a couple weeks ago. We put it in between his wheel. Some of the other straps wouldn't fit, D-rings wouldn't fit, anything wouldn't fit, so we ended up putting this rope through it, pulled the wheel out when we were able to fix the tie rod and get it going. So this is very important. And then the next one would be your basic strap. So these straps come in different lengths, different strengths. It just really depends on what you want to do. All of my straps are something that I work with Super Winch, so all of these have been provided by them, and we test them, and a lot of our guys use them on our channel, and they've never failed us. Shout out to Super Winch, big time. This is a 12,000 pound strap. It just really depends on what you want to carry, the sizing, but this particular one is perfect. One of the ones we use a lot. And obviously shackles. Make sure you get some soft shackles. You could carry D-rings. That's the other form of recovery gear. And what you do is you put these into your either a bumper or some sort of recovery point. All you gotta do is put it in, press it through. I'm sure you guys have all seen D-rings before. So a soft shackle works exactly the same, only it's rope and it's a little bit easier to work with. You can get it in different locations, and it's a lot faster, a lot lighter to carry, and it's something that Super Winch also carries, so you can check their website if they have it in stock. I would grab a couple of these and always carry them with you because they work really, really well. And this is kind of a standard now. Nobody really uses D-rings anymore. They're moving on to the soft shackles. All right, so the final strap that I would recommend carrying also is a kinetic rope. So the kinetic rope if you've never seen one of these used before, what these work for is so when you pull somebody, it doesn't give them whiplash. And when you pull a truck or anything like that, and you have something like this, it's so much nicer to pull. It doesn't yank your truck. It doesn't put so much stress on it. These are a little pricier, but again, if you want to get into that next level of carrying the stuff that's really important, a a kinetic rope is probably your next best friend, better than any of the other straps, just because it does give you a little giveaway, and it's really nice. It's really nice. This is a kinetic rope, and it's also from Super Wind, so you can check their website, and if you want to grab them from them, they're always available. All right, so while we're talking about ropes and carrying that, make sure you carry some good gloves too. These are also Super Winds. You can get a kit from them. They come with gloves. They come with the snatch block. But carry ropes because they will burn your hand. If it's cable or if it's a rope from, you know, being out here at 100-degree weather, a lot of this stuff gets really, really hot. And as you're tensioning or pulling, you could slip and burn your hand really bad, and it's not fun. So carry a good set of gloves. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about, it's one of the most important, and it's kind of one of my pet peeves. If you come out to a trail run with me or with any other group, make sure you have a radio, or ask them what kind of radio they are carrying. I have a few here that I'll break down with you. One of the most common and most usable radios is a Bofang. If you have a Bofang, a lot of the times, if you have the older version, it's programmable to a lot of the other new radios that are being used right now. So radios are super important. Whether you go out with me, whether you go out with any other group, make sure you always carry a radio. We have a GMRS, we have a Rudd CB. We carry different brands, and I carry all of them because you never know who you're rescuing. You never know what they're gonna carry, and you always want to make sure you can communicate for safety, so that way you can stick around with the group. Sometimes you get split up. This is a perfect way to either stick around and have a good time, or it could be a big headache if you don't have a radio, and then you feel like you're separated from the group when everybody else is talking to each other, joking around, having a good time. So make sure you grab a radio, ask the group that you normally hang with what they're using, and then buy that first. So now that I broke down some of the basics, one of the most important things, honestly, before anything else, is probably a first aid kit. I know I didn't mention it right off the bat, but it's something that everybody should carry, and you shouldn't just buy one of those like Rite Aid $10 first aid kits, because all they have is bandages. If you want to really step it up and carry something that actually helps somebody and possibly save somebody's life, Just In Case Rescue makes some really nice kit. This kit from Just In Case has a lot more things than your average first aid kit from like Rite Aid or Kmart or anything like that. It comes with the emergency blanket, it comes with surgical scissors, it comes with anything that you need that's past that like basic cut. So having a first aid kit is definitely one of the most important things. Aside from obvious off-roading equipment, always carry a nice first aid kit. All right, so now we went down through the basic breakdown. So if you're looking to carry a solid kit, straps, your air compressor, some recovery equipment, and obviously having a radio is your absolute basic kit that you should always carry in your truck. Now we're gonna break down some things that I carry. These are just extra things that I bring with me, just in case we have to rescue somebody. We never know what we're gonna get into. We've been in situations where these things have came into play and they've really helped us out. So stick around, I'm gonna show you what those look like. All right, so the first couple things I'm gonna show you are from Anti-Gravity. First one is this battery pack. So if you are going camping or you are going on a longer trip, you wanna have something that'll help you power some of your items, whether it comes to lights, whether you're getting stuck and you need power for your phone, having your radios charged. This is definitely an important piece to carry. These are not relatively cheap, but you can find them in different brands. Get whatever one fits your budget, but it's always nice to carry an extra battery supply. I've used this pretty much every single time I've gone out to camp or used any kind of lighting. The Anti-Gravity battery pack, this is the PS80, and it's awesome. It charges my radio, charges my tablet, charges my cameras, and it's came in handy really well. All right, so the next one, again, it's from Anti-Gravity, this starter pack. So if you're ever out and somebody's battery dies, instead of carrying like your traditional wired battery to battery wire, this is a self-starter. So you can use this to charge your phone. Also, it's also a lamp, and then all you gotta do is plug it into your power, your negative. You push start, you start the car, and it's never failed me. I've used it a couple times and it's always been there and handy. So I always carry this with me. Even on the traffic, sometimes somebody's battery just stops and I'm able to pull over, pull this out. It's super quick. You don't need an extra car. You just plug it into the battery, run it, and it starts the car right up. All right, some other things that I carry. Obviously, when we go out, we need tools to rescue people. Sometimes they break, sometimes it's something simple with some zip ties and some straps, you're able to do it. But I always carry a full toolkit with me. It has all the basics. This particular kit from Husky wasn't really expensive. It does kind of jumble itself out of place once you're carrying it, but it has everything you need. You're able to get people in and out a lot easier. You're not carrying a bunch of bags. I always bring a breaker bar with me also, because you always need this when you're dealing with the bigger trucks. You got to put some torque in it to be able to loosen some of those nuts. And then obviously if you have a Jeep or a Bronco, they all come with your specific tool to take some of the things off. But carrying tools is super important. So that's basically one of the basics that you should carry, especially even if it's just a small tool that pertains to your vehicle. That's really important. The next couple things I'll talk about are on the more advanced side. Carrying a saw, carrying some sort of grinder is really important. It'll be able to cut off. Sometimes you pinch your exhaust, something bends that you need to cut so you can drive it. I've seen a saw come into play and fix a lot of things. Again, it's more of an advanced tool. If you are willing to carry a bunch of things that will help others, carrying a sawzall is really important. And then obviously, not to say, carrying a flashlight is really huge. This particular flashlight is really big, but I use it only for spotlighting. Like once something is broken and we're out there all night, a big flashlight comes into play really nice. One of the most important things that I've noticed that people don't carry is weak points on your trucks. So for instance, the Bronco has a weak tie rod point, as they say. I always carry extra parts when it comes to that. You can't always guess it right and carry what you need to carry, but if you know something is weak on your truck and there's a possibility of it breaking, just bring an extra part with you. They're not really expensive most of the time, and it'll help long ass day turn into a not so long day. And it's kind of a trail etiquette thing when you're out with the group. Why put them through it if you could have saved it for 40-50 bucks? Carry some extra parts if you need them, if you know that they're weak points. I mean, obviously freak accidents happen, and you know, sometimes we'll have to drag you out of there, but if you have something that can be fixed, either an axle, U-joint, tie rod, bring that with you. It'll save a lot of time, it'll save a lot of headaches, and it's a big piece to carry if you're out on a trail. All right, so the next thing is, obviously, when you're out there, sometimes nature calls and you got to use the restroom. So I always carry toilet paper. I always carry wipes with me. Carry a nice shovel. You guys know what you got to do with this. I'm not going to explain what the process of that is, but making sure that you carry some toilet paper and some wipes always helps, especially if your lady's coming out with you, or even just being in a group, man. There's been plenty of times where somebody else has it and the other person doesn't, but nature does call, and when you're out on the trail, it's always nicer when you do have the stuff that you need versus not having it. A couple more items I'm gonna go through really quick. Having trash bags obviously is very important. Another thing that does save a lot of things when we're out is having zip ties. Carry zip ties no matter what. Zip ties do save lives. Honestly, we've been out there, use zip ties for all kinds of things, and they don't fail, man. Zip ties always work, so carrying zip ties is really important. One final thing that I cannot stress enough is, even though it's hot out here, depending on where you're going, checking weather, carrying the right amount of clothes, and then also always carrying a sweater and some sort of beanie or some sort of sweatpants. I always keep them in my bag, in my bag or in my truck, just because you never know. We've gone places where you think it's going to be nice and warm all day, next thing you know it's 60 degrees, 50 degrees, and for us here in California, some of that weather is really cold, man. It doesn't feel that good anymore. So carrying something that'll possibly save you from being miserable, getting sick, or even your partner or your kids or something is really important. So always carry some extra clothes. I always have it under my seat. The Jeep has really nice compartments under the seat where you can carry stuff, so I always put that in. But with that being said, I'm gonna close you guys out here shortly. Stick around. All right, so even though my kit is nice, there's a couple things that I still need to add to it. There's 3 things that are on my list right now that I need to grab. I'm gonna grab an Eagle jack. If you guys haven't seen those, look into those. They're really nice jacks. A stem repair kit. I already had one of my stems go bad. Tire was leaking. We couldn't really do much about it, but one of the other guys had one. So shout out to Booger. I think he's the one that actually gave me the extra stem seal to fix it, and I took care of that. So having that is going to be added to my set. And obviously a tire repair kit. So having a patch kit of some sort, plug it and keep moving. That's really important, and I don't carry it now, so I'll make sure to add that to my kits. So with all that being said, thank you guys for sticking around. If you guys have any questions or comments or things that you think I should add to my kit, let me know. It's obviously really nice to keep it kind of lightweight, not overdo it, because you still got to carry your camping gear, you still got to carry your family, your pets, all those things. So I try to keep it as minimal but as robust as possible. So this is something that I carry. Again, if you guys have any comments or suggestions of things that I should carry in my kit or add to the trucks, let me know, man. Comment below. I'm always up for a discussion. I'm always up to really improve everything. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, obviously. Check out Patreon if you haven't already. I'm still working on getting Facebook up, and it'll come soon. I promise you guys. Thank you, and peace out.